YouTube. So today we're gonna be doing something a lot different. We basically gonna be doing like a versus pre-made versus pre-order. We both gonna basically debate on which one is which, right? And really this whole concept is really to give you guys different variations of how you could go about starting your brand, which one is the best. Either one of them work, both of them work, but at the end of the day, it is important to know the facts about each of them. So we just gonna battle it out. We're gonna have like a little game board, Tez versus Lstcourt.
Yes, sir.
Hey, so let's turn up. So I'm taking pre-order, I ain't gonna lie.
I got pre-made, man, okay.
So we about to just go ahead and just jump into it. So I ain't even gonna lie. Pre-order gonna be the best to start off with because I ain't got 5 bands to just drop on inventory.
Respectfully.
And on top of that, with the 5 bands, if I put it in pre-made,
Right.
what if it don't move?
That's true. That's true. And I feel like to counter that, that's exactly why we want to build demand.
Ooh.
Because if we build the demand, then whether we run pre-order or pre-made, either one of them ain't gonna move if we don't got demand, right? Another thing is yes, you may go run your pre-order, but my customers are gonna come back and shop with me because I'm getting them their items 3, 4, 5 days. They getting their item. They just, you know what I'm saying? And so you used to shopping with Amazon. Amazon getting your item same day, next day. And then I go buy your pre-order and now I'm waiting 3, 4 weeks. Man, I don't got time.
But I ain't gonna lie though. This is the thing though. So yeah, you could go pre-made, but if you just starting off, how you know what manufacturer to give 5K to?
Right. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's a
Damn, god
That's a good
damn.
point. That's a good point. So this is how I would do it, right? When I order my samples, I'm gonna order my samples from at least 2 to 3 different manufacturers, so I can save time. And you feel me? I know which manufacturer is gonna actually be able to produce my clothing. So like you said, when I do go spend that 5K, right, or that 2 to 5K, I know I'm not wasting my money on a manufacturer that I don't see myself working with long term. So I'm gonna go through the steps a little bit more cautious. You feel me? So I know that these are the right steps that I should be taking for finding my manufacturer.
I think those both valid points. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie.
That is a valid point.
Both of them real valid. I don't know. Maybe the editor to give a point to whoever. I don't know
Right.
who to get that one. But
Yes.
honestly, I'm not gonna lie. With pre-order though, okay, yeah, you're gonna have to wait some time to get it, right? But on top of that, I can move the units and make profit up front.
That's facts.
As opposed to pre-made where you might, spend 5K on the inventory.
Right.
With all of the inventory not moving at the same time, you might not see profit until months later.
100%.
I'm gonna be able to see profits immediately.
That's true.
That's my point on that one.
That's true. I respect that. This is the thing too though. It's okay, so if I'm running a pre-order, I obviously don't have that product on hand.
Right.
And so what about those sales that I do want to make in person? Or what about those connections, right? Because we in Atlanta. We seeing people every day. So if I got clothing in my trunk, right, I can go and I see somebody, oh, perfect. I can go take that opportunity because opportunities can be once in a lifetime. I could grab that pre-made inventory that I now have and I can go put it on that person. And that can fuel, right, that pre-made that I just got, right? If I got 50 pieces or whatever, 75 pieces, I can have 2 pieces that I give away to influencers and then now that just, you know what I'm saying, I can push that drop a lot faster. And so having pre-made on hand is also a crazy point as well, right? Like how you gonna play that? I want to buy something off you right now.
Yeah, let me get your cash out real quick. That is true though, because once you go pre-order, you're not gonna have the inventory just sitting around, and then the sample prices is gonna be a little bit pricier, so you ain't gonna be able to buy a whole bunch of samples either.
Yeah.
That's a valid point. That's a valid point.
It's
I don't
valid.
know. I don't know if I give him that point though. I don't know. Editor, you go ahead and take care of that one too, right? So the next thing I would say, right, is the shipping, right? So I think that if somebody ends up buying on my pre-order, right, yeah, they gotta wait, but if they're willing to wait and the quality is there, that's more of a qualified person that's gonna stick with my brand longer. Because now if I do a pre-made after the pre-order, I already tested the pre-order to make sure there is a demand for it to buy. Because the thing is, you go pre-made, but how do you build the demand prior to the drop without putting the money into pre-made first?
Right. And I think the way that we doing that is just with the samples, using our
Same way
samples and marketing it the same way you would do your pre-order, right? Just using that, because I'm not gonna go buy that pre-made until I know my demand. I still need to follow the data and the numbers, and so the data is gonna tell me how many pre-made I need to be getting. What if I get Drake in it, right? That's crazy, but what if I do? Shoot, I'm about to go spend everything. Don't go spend everything, but I'm gonna go make I'm gonna take a risk, right? And I'm gonna go put a lot into some pre-made.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I might go, if I got it, I might go get 200 pieces.
That's true.
Because I can expect that this is gonna go crazy based off the numbers of what people are telling me, the feedback that I'm getting.
So, what happens when? Oh, there's a point that will go against me, so I ain't even gonna say it. I ain't even about to say that one, right? All right. So the thing is with pre-order as well, right? For a beginner who's just starting, they may not want to take that big risk.
That's understandable,
right? Whether it come down to finances, because we both know that there's a bunch of other things that go into a drop other than just buying it from a manufacturer and getting shipped to us.
100%.
There's delays. So what happens when something gets picked up by customs and it ends up being kept?
I think that's the point.
That's a point for me. That's a point for me. Because once customs get that baby, it's wrapped.
That's a downfall.
How? For you. I'm not putting all my money up.
Right, but if you running a pre-order, then what you gonna do about your customers that order?
I'm not I could just refund them.
That's
and I'm
bad
not losing.
business.
How?
Because you refunding after they done waited 2-3 weeks.
No, it's not. Because I'm gonna tell them the real. I'm gonna be like, look, bro. Customs got it. They the bad guy. I'm the good guy, right?
Nah, facts. That's true. I mean, and if that happens, then that's why we go through Alibaba, because then we could try to at least file a dispute, try to get our money back.
That's customs. Alibaba don't mess with customs. That's only the manufacturer. I'm gonna tell y'all too. Alibaba only rock with the manufacturer portion.
Yeah.
Once that baby shipped, that's on UPS, USPS, and US
100%.
Customs.
And you filed a dispute with them, with UPS, USPS.
You ain't gonna never hear back.
You ain't gonna never hear back.
I filed for.
That's your point. I ain't gonna lie.
I ain't gonna lie. Look, I filed for a dispute with UPS. They left $30,000 worth of inventory out in the rain, and I still haven't heard back from them. So UPS, fuck you.
Nah, that's your point.
Nah, but if you got a brand sponsorship, hit me up.
Right. No, not fuck you.
Clip that.
We love UPS.
No, for real.
And USPS. But no, that's a valid point. I think this is the thing too, though. Look, so you got a lot of people in the market right now that are doing pre-order.
Right.
As we know, it's always important to be able to stand out a little bit. And so if everybody doing pre-order, that's what everybody's already used to. Customers are getting tired of that. They're tired of waiting 3-4 weeks.
It's true.
And so if I come into the market with a different approach and I become the Amazon of the clothing space, everybody's customers are mine, because I'm the most consistent. I'm getting you a product when you need it. People got birthdays that they ordering for and all of that, and they're not able to get their product in time because it's taking 3-4 weeks, right? And so if you could come to me versus coming over there to that pre-order guy, right? And even if maybe their designs is a little bit better than mine, maybe their quality might be a little bit better, but I'm getting you your product when you need it. Right? And that's the point. I'm a lot more efficient on that.
I'm gonna give him that point. I'm gonna give him that fuck ass point. Because the problem is that's a fact. Because like, to keep it a buck, that is a huge issue with pre-order. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, we both went on this little debate right here, right? Mm-hmm. We both for pre-order and pre-made.
100%.
Both for it. Let's just put that out there. We just showing y'all like John versus Bill.
Right.
Which one's gonna win? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just showing y'all different variations.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this, because this is something that popped off recently. Quan saying like, never go pre-order.
Yeah.
And his situation with Shopify holds.
Yeah.
And I think we should give people clarity on how Shopify holds work.
Right.
And chargebacks, because it's not that they just randomly held the money.
Yeah, they don't.
Let's talk about that.
So yeah, I think it's so Shopify is aware of pre-order. That's not a bad, that is a well-known strategy that has been used for a long time.
Exactly.
Now that people are getting into the space with little knowledge, they're being ignorant when running a pre-order, and so they're running it and they're not updating their customers on a weekly to a daily basis. They're not building out communities to show the process of the manufacturing. You're ordering, imagine I go order from Nike, and I order, and Nike does not send me order confirmation. I don't get order tracking, and I don't hear nothing from Nike for 2 or 3 weeks about my order.
It's true.
You would think that you got scammed too. You would charge back that order too. And so we have to put ourselves in these customer shoes. Y'all are doing business with these people. Y'all are seeing $30,000, $40,000, and y'all are forgetting that y'all ever even just sold them a product that y'all have to now deliver on. And so I think that it's that aspect. It's not the fact of that pre-order is bad. We have to be able to have knowledge on both sides of the spectrum, and that's why we're doing this, right?
Exactly.
Pre-made and pre-order. Like he said, we're for both, but it's about having knowledge on both.
Exactly.
And making sure that you are executing how you need to on the front and the back end when it comes to updating your customers and keeping them in the loop, so y'all are keeping a tight relationship.
Exactly.
So yeah, you could touch on like maybe even the chargeback aspect.
Chargeback, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So like again, like we said, we both pre-made and pre-order. It's important to know the verses for both of them, so you can have arguable points for yourself when you're going back and forth with yourself about should I go pre-order or pre-made. I like both of them. I've done both of them. They've both given me success. I failed with both of them as well. So you know, those are things that you want to take into consideration. So that situation though, with Shopify putting the money on hold. Shopify's not just gonna go put your money on hold. They put your money on hold because of chargebacks. So I think, and I don't know, right, but I'm just commenting on it from a person who's seen the podcast interview, and I wanted to share my 2 cents on it, right? I think that he underestimated how much pull he actually had. So you got probably $100,000 plus of worth of inventories coming in within 10 minutes probably. And now you're like, oh my God, you're off of a high of making the money, but you're forgetting the fulfillment. So I we've been doing this for some years now. So we may make a bulk of money, but we know that it's about to be a bunch of work that come with it. So we're not as excited until after this stuff is shipped, because that's where the fulfillment comes in. You fulfill the order, but your fulfillment after making the orders and after getting it done is, wow, I just made this money. Now that after everything is already shipped out and everything's good, because you never know what happens afterwards. So I think what happened is he had all these people come in, and because of his level of exposure on social media and notoriety, the problem is he had a bunch of scam people come in, or a bunch of people with malicious intent against him. So what happened is they just wanted the free piece. So more than likely, what I think that happened is that all these people bought. He had way more than he ever thought he could have, or he had way more than he thought would have had
That's
bought.
What he said,
yeah, way more, which is understandable because he got crazy pull. You got to give him his flowers, right? But the thing is that these people, and it only takes 1% for Shopify to hold it. So he probably had, let's just say for simple numbers, right? Let's say 1,000 people ordered, right? It only takes about 10 orders for you to get all your funds being held. So let's say he had 1,000 people end up coming to buy his new piece, his new drop. It only takes 10 people to fuck up the whole motion for all 990 other people. So that's why I think that happened and why they held the funds. And at that point, you also got to look at it from his standpoint as well. It's like, do I uphold my lifestyle? Or do I go put the money in and get it to the customer? I don't know. That's a decision that you gotta, make up on your own.
Depend on the longevity of what he was trying to even accomplish to begin with.
Exactly.
It also depends on how long he was running that, because we don't know how long he even ran that pre-order.
We have no idea.
They started to. They obviously didn't start holding funds out the gate from what I would like how Shopify works, right? Like you said, you have to reach that 1% threshold. So he was probably getting paid out on a certain amount of it. Yeah. And then they start holding it, right? Once you start getting chargebacks, and he obviously didn't start just getting charged back, instantly. Right. And so it's like, all right, well, how long were we actually extending this pre-order?
That's a true point.
You know what I'm saying? Were we letting this run for F it? We getting results. Yeah, it's going. Leave it, because that's what some people are doing, and then that's why they're not everybody's screaming, "Oh, Shopify playing with my money," and da-da-da. And it's like, well, no, you let a pre-order run for 2 weeks. Yeah. Or a month, bro. I know people that are letting pre-orders run, bro.
That's why I don't recommend doing anything over 3 days.
Yes.
You got to think from the standpoint of a pre-order. 72 hours is the max that I would go. Right? That's the go-to and that's the max, right? So that's the go-to one. But the only problem with that is, let's say you do it for a week. What about the people who order on the last day? On the first day. They waited 7 days for nothing because we're not thinking about that. 3 days isn't a big difference in the pre-order longevity of how long it's going to take for the order to get to people. 7 days is mass. That's a week extra that this person, and you got to think, majority of your sales is going to come in the first day.
Right. So most of those people are not waiting.
Most of those people are waiting. Most of the issues.
Most loyal people.
Exactly. They bought on the first day.
Yeah.
So these are things that y'all just need to know about pre-order and pre-made, and also understand that it's not that pre-orders is what's getting your money held. Yeah. It's the system that you have when running the pre-order and how you're notifying the customers.
Yeah, 100%. It's another thing too, is that it's also the quantity. If this is if you go buy a new car, they tell you if it don't got no miles on it, Don't go take it to the highway and do 80.
Yeah, facts.
You got to let your systems get warm first. And so a lot of y'all are testing out y'all business systems that y'all just started y'all business. Y'all testing out y'all business systems. Y'all go run y'all first ever pre-order. You've never fulfilled the order. You've never bought a shipping label. You've never split up the money. You don't know none of that stuff. And you go and you get some buzz behind your brand and you go sell 500 units. That was the biggest mistake that I made. I lost $10,000 in the beginning of my business because of my shipping process. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And so I had lost over 90 plus packages because of my returning address wasn't right, because my item weight was not right. And so I bit off more than I could chew.
Yeah.
You feel me?
That's a bar, because most people are doing that right now.
That's what they trying to do. They trying to money play. I want to make $100,000 my first drop. Do you know how to fulfill $100,000 worth of inventory?
Hey,
like, do you know what that takes? Do you know what that looks like?
Do y'all know I made $9,000 in 9 minutes and it took me 36 hours to fulfill everything?
You feel me? Like,
what?
And so it's you gotta test out your business systems. You know, make your mistakes on a smaller, because you're gonna make them on a smaller scale.
Yes.
And, you know, change the systems, and then we can scale up.
Yeah.
Have a max, cap out 50 pieces. If it's your first drop, sell 50 pieces. You feel me? Make sure your manufacturer can
fulfill the 50-50,
right?
the 50 pieces
like,
in the time frame.
This is our first time, right?
Yeah,
so it's
bro.
like, I think those are all important, man.
All of these are very important. This is pre-order versus pre-made.
Yeah, man.
I hope that you guys learned something. Which one are you for? Comment down below. Is it pre-order or pre-made, and why? We will definitely be responding to all the comments that are in there as well. Myself and Court, we both in Limitless. So if you guys want to join the #1 clothing brand community, link is in the description. You can check it out or not. It's up to you. But make sure y'all tap in and leave a subscribe. Where can they find you at? Where can they tap in? Where can they follow you, subscribe, all that good stuff?
Lstcourt on all platforms. LST Society, the brand. Y'all check us out, man. We going up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Tap in, man. It's your boy, The Real Tez. All links gonna be in the description. Check us out. Hope y'all like this video. Hope you subscribe, share it with a friend. We'll catch y'all in the next one.
Let's do it.
Peace.